The Xbox One X is the most powerful console ever, and the game that was chosen to highlight the hardware's extra power was Forza Motorsport 7. Here to tell us more about the game is creative director Dan Greenewald. Dan, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Tell us all about Forza 7.
Well, this is a historic day. First off, for Forza Motorsport 7, we unveiled a car, a world debut at E3, and that's really all about the gamers. I mean, that's not even about us. That's the rise of gaming and racing, of course. And then we showed Forza Motorsport 7 along with Xbox One X. And the team has done some incredible work. I mean, Forza Motorsport 7 looks amazing, and the power of Xbox One X has really allowed us to rethink every little aspect. Camera shake, rattles in the hood, the moving skies. It's really fun to play.
Yeah. Alana, you're a big Forza fan. What did you think of the footage today?
I think it looks absolutely beautiful, and I've said this a few times on the live stream today that I've gotten to a point where I can't tell the difference between cars in real life and cars in games now. How hard is that to master? How did you get these cars to look so realistic? I think the GT especially just looks flawless.
You know, I think for us, we thought about perfection back on the Xbox 360. Right? And we were doing advanced shaders and really high polygonal models and high-res textures. And when we got to the Xbox One, we started on this idea of that what makes cars look real is their imperfections. It's the same thing that makes us look real. The uncanny valley is all about when you look too perfect. So we started looking at swirl marks on the cars, and what we're doing now is having the rattling of the car, like all that extra movement, the exhaust pipes and the heat shimmer. It's these imperfections that make it look so real.
Yeah, and they absolutely do. I was totally blown away by the footage we're seeing right now. It just looks absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, and the skies.
Yeah.
The skies are just incredible.
One thing I have to ask is, are we going to get more Japanese tracks this time around?
You know, I don't remember our full unveil of the track list. I'm sorry to say that. I will say that, yes, there are some great track announces coming. Some of our fans have already picked up in the trailer Mugello, which is a track that was on Forza Motorsport 4, and it's now been rescanned, rebuilt completely for the Xbox One X. It looks amazing.
Awesome.
The weather effects definitely stood out to me. You have a whole new weather system in the game, is that right?
Yeah, so if you think about this holistically, there's Forza Horizon and there's Forza Motorsport, and they're both built off the Forza Tech engine. And that allows us to have two world-class racing teams working on one engine and adding tech and adding features and things like that. So, you know, Horizon, the skies looked incredible, right? And the HDR, they just really sang. We were able to bring that technology into Forza Motorsport. But then with Forza Motorsport, we focus on competition. We focus on that precision. So the way we look at dynamic is about the driver's experience, less about sort of just the graphical side of it, but actually how the heat greases up your tires and how puddles grow and how your surface becomes more slippery.
Is the weather randomized in the game, or does this player have some control over the weather conditions?
A little bit of both. So we've curated the types of experiences we're trying to deliver to players, and it's this big campaign. As you're going through it, we curate experiences that match the car and the experience and what have you. But you know, esports is a big component of the Motorsport series as well. And so being able to have different experiences as you return to a track every single time, that's really important to us.
Yeah.
We know you've partnered with Porsche this time around, which means I assume we'll have Porsches on launch.
Yeah.
Excellent.
not just a couple either. I mean, the car list, it's over 700 cars, and that means this huge collection of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Porsches. So we're going to have more of those kind of premium cars than any other game has ever had. Wow. And you throw on top of that just 700 cars, just a lot of cars.
Are you also going to be partnering with different manufacturers for things like body kits or wheels? Are there new things like that?
Yep, there are new body kits, there are new wheels. If you think about the two franchises, Horizon and Motorsport, you can almost see how the teams think. You know, the competition, the precision of motorsport. So even the wheels that were added are very motorsport-oriented wheels, the sort of things you're going to see on GT cars racing around the world.
Awesome.
Is it true that you're adding more customization options for your driver?
Yes. So the drivers, we've pulled the driver out of the car. It's really cool. So you think about in motorsport, the role of drivatars and the role of multiplayer. other people are in your world all the time. You know, Drivatars brings your friends into your game. So now they can have a customized driver. So these are suits. Now these are suits, as you'd imagine, you know, professional modern suits, but also we have racing suits that go back to the 30s, so you can have that vintage look. The cool part is when you start blending that with community events where you can win suits that are a little bit more surprising, maybe not what people would expect.
Interesting.
But still in our fiction. Still in that professional racing fiction.
So what can we expect from the online infrastructure this time around? Do we have open lobbies or anything like that?
Well, so if you think about the Xbox ecosystem, there's a feature called Looking for Game, Looking for Group. Have you used that? So that allows you to kind of pair up with people that you really want to play with and create sort of a public lobby system to come straight into the game. There's also clubs, and it's a great way to party up. Where we've really invested is the spectating for doing esports and actually watching, as well as a mixer streamer, being able to have greater streams that you can create, and the esports side. So the Forza Racing Championship is actually going to Le Mans this weekend, and our champions are going to be racing on site at Le Mans, and the winners will actually be crowned on the podium at Le Mans. First time in history.
It's pretty cool.
85th running. So esports is becoming a much bigger part of the game. So a lot of the new features in multiplayer are to make leagues better. There's a new league system to get better competitive gaming, and then better features for esports as well.
So what do you think about the Xbox One X and all the new power that it provides?
Well, so like Albert, who was sitting here before me, I've been around at Xbox for quite a while. In fact, I was working at Microsoft before there was Xbox. We were just making PC games.
Sure.
And so I've been there at the launch of a lot of consoles, and the Xbox One X is amazing. As a developer, we were just able to get our code running. It was just so fast. It was incredible, and it's so powerful. It becomes kind of the way you want to develop. You know, with that amount of power, it's been a revolution, and it was fun for our team as first party to be there as the voice of the developer as best we could. You know, we have a very our engine is very high running.
Sure.
And we were there to say, look, this is what it should take to make a 4K game that runs at 60 frames per second all the time with high resolution assets. We need this kind of pipeline. So our team could help make a better development environment for all developers.
With Play Anywhere, is it also going to have full PC support on launch?
Absolutely. This is actually the first Forza that's being built from the ground up for PC. So that means incredible wheel support, peripheral support, and more options. We think our PC community is really critical in racing. And if you think about even building esports, bringing this massive community together, there's 4.8 million players playing Forza every single month. So bringing that PC community, that Xbox community together is vital. But they're different.
Sure.
So really understanding how to make a game for them has been a learning process for us over the last few years. And I think they're going to be delighted with Forza 7.
Forza 7 is actually out before the Xbox One X, correct?
Yes.
But if you purchase the Xbox One X, you get the 4K upgrade for free. Is that right?
You do. And it's strange. It's hard for us as developers to think about 4K upgrade because for us it's a massive amount of content, and there's just so yes, on October 3rd you're going to play the best Forza Motorsport you've ever seen. I mean, a lot of the technology, well, actually, frankly, all of the technology that we rethought with the power of Scorpio came downstream to all devices. So now we can run a lower spec PC than we ever have before, performantly, 60 frames per second on a lower spec PC. And a lot of it was because of the investigation into Scorpio. It benefited the whole family of devices. So on October 3rd, you can play on PC, you can play on Xbox, Xbox One S, get HDR. When Scorpio launches, though, man, the game looks incredible. And a lot of those same features, though, you will see on high-end PCs on October 3rd. You see what I'm getting at? Like those resolution, those high-resolution assets will actually be there on October 3rd.
Can't wait to see those comparisons. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So come October 3rd, the game's out there. What are you most excited about for players to experience?
So there's a new campaign in the game, and it's called the Forza Drivers' Cup, and you're actually getting championship series points, and it just kind of pulls you into this world. And that's cool and all, but it's really about 700 cars. How do we make the most out of 700 cars, take players on a journey? And the nice thing with that amount of content is you don't take them on a journey, you let them find their journey. They find the cars, the areas that they're really excited about. And with this more motorsport, real-world inspired career, I think it's going to really get people thinking about cars in a new way. Now, I got to admit, though, for me, esports is the future. And I love being able to push and invent something new. So inventing a new form of motorsport that's built for a younger generation, not my generation, that is the challenge of the future. And I love, Forza Motorsport 7 coming out and starting to really do that.
It's really exciting, especially with the integrated leaderboard system the Xbox now has. Are you expecting it to get really, really active and really competitive in ways you haven't seen in previous Forza games?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a very competitive community, and having this game be the first one built specifically ground up for PC is going to attract a big PC competitive audience. But we already have professional drivers that are starting to come into the Forza Racing Championship, so we're already getting that blend of the real world and the digital world. It's cool to see. I live in both worlds.
Sure.
And so to build a space where gamers feel like they can become racers and racers feel like there's a place for them to game, I mean, that's right at the heart of the series.
Forza Motorsport 7 is out October 3rd.
October 3rd.
Thank you so much for coming by the show.